Hello and welcome. Welcome to my channel. I'm Serena and this is Style with Serena. On my channel, I cover all things fashion related for ladies in their 40s, 50s, and beyond. And I throw in a little makeup and beauty too, starting to dabble in that a little bit. But this is a little different video today. I just cracked 1,000 subscribers on YouTube in the past few days. And I know in YouTube land that's tiny, but to me that's just amazing because I just started this a couple of months ago. I don't have a blog or a big social media presence or anything like that. I just wanted to do this to see if there are other like-minded women in my age bracket who could benefit with real people modeling real clothes. I shouldn't say modeling, trying on real clothes and giving real reviews and feedback and showing what works on different body types and what doesn't. And the feedback has just been overwhelming, and I'm so grateful for each one of you for subscribing to my channel and for joining me for my try-ons and hauls and reviews that I do. It's been really fun. And this is not my full-time job. I do have a job. This is a hobby. And but today, in honor of my 1,000 subscribers, we're doing something a little different. And I asked you guys to send me some questions, some things that you would like to know about me, things that maybe I haven't mentioned in the course of doing my videos, or just things that you're curious about. So that's what we're going to get into. So grab yourself a cup of coffee or tea or wine or whatever, depending on what time of day it is that you're watching this. I have my big Sonic iced tea. That's one thing about me. If people who know me know that I always have a drink, always. And I've been like that as long as I can remember. I'm just a thirsty girl. And I drink iced tea all the time. And I know I probably drink too much, but I don't drink sweet tea. So it's not full of sugar. I drink unsweetened tea. And the thing that I like about Sonic is I can get flavors put in my tea, and those flavors have just a little bit of sweetener in them, and it's just enough to sweeten it to my taste because I don't like my tea super sweet. So shout out to Sonic. They all know me by name at my local Sonic. When I pull in, they know what I'm getting. So anyway, I get one of these big Route 44 drinks pretty much every morning and sip on it throughout the day. So that's one little thing about me. All right, let's get into these questions. Okay, first of all, something pretty basic. And several people asked this, but I tried to note on most of these who asked the question, so I can give a shout out to everybody. So Mary N asked, what are my stats? You know, age, weight, height, measurements, all that. So I am 51 years old. My birthday is in December, so I turned 51 this past December. And right now I weigh 130 pounds. I've been trying, y'all, to crack that 130 to get back down into the 120s. I would really like to be somewhere between 120 and 125. That's my happy place. But I know I could work harder. I do watch what I eat, but I'm not super duper strict about it. I do Weight Watchers, and I track my meals and I track my points, and I do a pretty good job most of the time. But chocolate is my big thing. I have to have my little bite of chocolate every day. But anyway, I'm trying to get down because I just feel like that's where clothes fit me the best because of my proportions. If I weigh somewhere between 120 and 125, I don't want to weigh 115. I don't want to be too skinny because I think the older you get, if you're too skinny, it ages you, and we don't want that. So I think between 120 and 125 would be a sweet spot for me, and that's where I'm trying to get. But right now I weigh 130. And measurements. So my butt, and I measured myself yesterday, so these are accurate. My bust is 37 and a half. My waist is 31. Boo. I guess that's what 3 kids will do to you. I've had 3 kids, by the way. We'll get into that later. and my hips are 39, which surprised me because I don't have really wide hips, but I was kind of surprised that mine were 39. But they are. So just shows you can have similar measurements to other people and still look totally different. I'm 5'2", 5'2" exactly. Seems like I used to be more like 5'2" and a half. Maybe I just thought I was, but maybe I've shrunk a little bit. I don't know. But right now I'm 5'2", flat-footed, measured and marked. That's exactly how tall I am. And I've been this tall since I was probably 11 or 12 years old. I've maxed out early and just quit growing. My feet and my height have not changed since I was seriously 11 or 12 years old. So those are my stats for those of you who haven't caught any of that in my previous videos. Okay, next question. Laura G asked, where, I can't remember if she asked where I live or where I'm from or where all I've lived, but I kind of lumped all that together because I had several different questions about that. Have I always lived in Alabama? Some of you may not know I live in Alabama. I mentioned that in a lot of my daily outfit videos, but I live in the Huntsville area in Alabama, Madison to be exact. Madison is a suburb of Huntsville, but it's its own separate little town. And so that's where I live. And where am I from? I'm originally from Tennessee. I was born in Louisiana. My father was in the Army, so moved around a lot, but that's where they happened to be when I was born. But I don't remember anything about Louisiana. And from there, I lived in Miami, Florida, and then landed back home in Tennessee, where my mother was from, and that's where I grew up. So from as early as I can remember, all the way up through college, I lived in Tennessee, and I lived there until I was about 32 years old, actually. Went to college, went in Tennessee, got married, did not leave Tennessee until I was pregnant with my second child, moved down to Georgia for a while, lived in the Rome, Georgia area, which is, it's north of Atlanta. It's just outside of the Atlanta metro. It's a medium-sized town, so it's not part of Atlanta metro. It's kind of its own little area. But I lived there for a while, got divorced, moved back to Tennessee for a number of years. And then I've been in Alabama since my current husband and I got married. We were married in 2012. We met online and dated for over a year and got married. And just because of our jobs, which I'll get into later, it made more sense for me to move down here than for him to move to Tennessee because of what he does and what I was doing at the time. So I moved down here, and I've been in Madison ever since. So I've been here for 9 years. So that is, but in Tennessee, golly, I grew up in a tiny little town called Altamont, Tennessee, which is on Monteagle Mountain, not far from Chattanooga. And then I went to college at Tennessee Tech University. That's in Cookeville, Tennessee. From there, I moved to Chattanooga. That was my first job out of college. I lived there. From there, I moved up to the Nashville, Tennessee area and lived in Franklin. Lived in there for a number of years. That's where my first child was born. And then from there, we moved to Georgia and all around. So anyway, that's a little summary of where I live and where I have lived. Okay, and the next question was about my family, my kids, their ages, all that. So I have 3 children and 2 stepchildren. I have my oldest 2 are from my first marriage. I have a daughter that is 19. And I have a daughter who just turned 18. She's a senior in high school, about to graduate and head off to the University of Alabama, Roll Tide. My oldest daughter, she lives locally here. She is in school as well here in Huntsville, and she works pretty much full time. She's pretty much supporting herself, just about. She has her own apartment, she works, she's doing online school, and she's doing real well right now. So I'm real proud of her. And then I have a son who is 8 years old, and he was born, he was a big surprise. He came along a little over a year after my husband and I had been married. So yeah, on our first anniversary, I was 8 months pregnant. So he was definitely a surprise for both of us, but he's been a tremendous blessing, because now we don't know what we would do without him, even though he wears us out and makes us tired and all that, and people think that we're his grandparents sometimes instead of parents. But he's been great. And as far as my stepchildren, my husband, he had two also from his first marriage, and they're grown. They both went to Auburn University and graduated. His oldest is his daughter, she's 27, and then his son is 24. So those are my stepchildren. And we also have a grandbaby, because my stepdaughter, who's 27, she's married and has a little baby. So my husband is a grandpa, and so I guess that makes me a grandma, or a step grandpa. So that is our family, or our immediate family. Emily Williams asked, have I always been a realtor, and how did I start? And that's a good question. And no, I have not always been a realtor. I've been a realtor for about 5 years. And before that, my degree is in accounting. Like I said, I went to Tennessee Tech University. I graduated with a degree in accounting and came straight out of school and started working for a public accounting firm, and did that for a number of years. And then I worked in private industry for a long time. When my girls were tiny, I quit work and I stayed home for about 4 years and didn't work at all. Then once they started school, I went back to work part-time doing accounting work again, and then got divorced, went back to work full-time, single mom. That was really, really hard. That was the toughest period in my life, I guess, trying to balance all that with two kids in elementary school and working a full-time job that could sometimes be really stressful. And but that's when I met my current husband. And like I said, I moved down here when we got married. It's always been pretty easy for me to find a job working in accounting and finance. So that's the nice thing about it. So I went to work with one of the large defense contractors here in Huntsville, and we moved down. And I did that up until about 5 years ago. I got really burned out, and I was thinking about making a move, and an opportunity presented itself to me that I ended up making a move quicker than I thought I would. And I got into real estate from the lady who sold our house previous to the one that we live in now. We sold that house. It was small for all 5 of us, and we built a new house. And so I talked to her when I was thinking about making a career change, and she said, well, you know, I'm looking for somebody to be a buyer's agent for me, because she does a lot of listings. She does a lot of real estate in Madison. She's a great lady, and her business was really growing, and I just love her. And I thought, well, this would be the best scenario ever for me to start out working with her as a buyer's agent. And that way she gave me referrals. I split my commission with her, and that's how I got started, and I'm still with her. So that doesn't mean I don't do listings, because I do, but the majority of my business is working with buyers. And I've been really blessed with a lot of great clients over the years, and I've been doing it long enough now that I'm starting to see repeat customers come back, clients that, you know, bought houses with me, and now they're having babies or more kids, or just want a different house or bigger house or smaller house, and so they're selling and buying a different house with me, and that's a lot of fun. So, but it's 5 years, so I'm about to celebrate my 5-year anniversary of being in real estate. Okay, and Rita Starnes asked, what does my husband do for a living? And that kind of goes back to what I said earlier about it making more sense for me to come to Huntsville than for him to go to Tennessee when we got married. he's an engineer and he works for NASA. So you can't really work for NASA just anywhere. You have to be where they are. So unless you're down on the Florida coast, or you're in Houston, or you're here in Huntsville, and maybe a few other locations, you know, it's, well, DC area, it's hard to work for NASA. And he's been there for a long time. And he works on a project with the International Space Station. And I can't really tell you what he does because I don't know. But I know that he attends a lot of meetings and telecons, and he does a lot of PowerPoint slides and presentations. Even though he's an engineer by trade, he's mainly doing meetings and PowerPoints and talking to people now. So anyway, and he works as a contractor for NASA on the International Space Station, one of their projects. So that's what he does. All right. Lori Mahon asked, was I in pageants when I was younger? And the answer is yes, I was. When I was a little girl, I was in pageants all the way up through, you know, high school age. And I never did really very well in them, actually. I never won. You know, I got a runner-up a few times, or, you know, best outfit, or, you know, some kind of ancillary award, but I never won a pageant ever. But I do know how to walk and turn and do the pageant turn and all that kind of thing. But most of that was taught to me by my mother, not necessarily pageants. I mean, it helped doing pageants and getting that practice. But she was a very poised lady and had a lot of grace and style, and she really taught me how to carry myself, and, you know, was always on to me to sit up straight and shoulders back and all that kind of thing. So I attribute her to my poise more so than pageants. Rhoda asked a couple of questions. She asked, what do my friends and family think of my channel? And I didn't know what they were going to think. I didn't tell a lot of people in the beginning because I didn't know what was going to happen. I had no idea. I mean, and it's hard going out into the land of YouTube world where people have 1 million subscribers and all this crazy stuff. I had no idea. So I didn't tell a lot of people. But now that I have shared it with people, I told some close friends in the beginning, because they want, and of course they were all for it and said go for it and were very supportive, and they were some of my first subscribers, so thank you. And thank you very much. They helped get me going and give me the confidence to do it. But everybody's been super supportive. They don't think it's silly. And my family's been very supportive too, even though my husband, he's not into social media. He watches videos on YouTube. If he needs to figure out how to do something that he doesn't know how to do, he will find a video on YouTube. But that's his extent of dealing with YouTube. So he doesn't really get it or understand it, but he supports me in it and thinks it's great, and he's proud of what I've done so far. So yeah, everybody's been super supportive. And even my daughters, you know, I've got teenage girls, and they can be really tough, and they are the ones who I thought I would get the most flack from, you know, but they've been super supportive too, and they're really proud of me, and they're like super proud. When I hit 1,000, they were super, super proud of me. And so it's been fun. They think it's neat, and they're very supportive, and I'm very grateful for that. And Rhoda also asked, what are my plans to expand my channel? Well, I don't know. I need some help with that. I know one thing I need to do is post more on Instagram and link things back and forth. I try to put my Instagram down below in the description box for people to follow me there. So if you haven't followed me on Instagram, go down there and you can find my @ and follow me on there. And I don't do it every day, but I've been trying to post more outfits of the day over on Instagram. and put a bunch of different tags in there to get people to follow. So that's one way I hope to expand. Also, since I've hit that 1,000 magic number, I now qualify to be monetized by YouTube, which means that they will start running ads during my videos, and you get some teeny tiny, percent of ad revenue from that. And I don't even know what it is because it hasn't happened yet. They did notify me that I now qualify because of my subscribers and my number of watched hours. So I applied for that, but it hasn't started happening just yet. So you may see ads start to pop up in my videos. But if I get any earnings from that, then that will just be more I can put into content of my channel, more subscription boxes I can try, more different hauls, things like that, so that I'm not just doing it all, on my own dime. Although I will say I have a Poshmark store, and I have the link to my Poshmark closet down below too, and pretty much any earnings that I have from my sales on Poshmark go right back into my channel. So that's kind of how I've been subsidizing, the spending for the styling fees and the clothes and all that. My Poshmark closet has been really helping out to contribute toward those costs. But so social media, word of mouth, help me spread the word to grow my channel. And I'm also going to start doing some other things like some more health and beauty and handbags. Someone mentioned handbags. I am a purse girl, and I have been for a long time. So I'm going to start doing more with purses, maybe my purse collection and reviews and things like that. So if you have any ideas of expanding my channel, please comment below and let me know some things I could do, because hey, I'm new to this. So give me some tips. And I thought I could get through all these questions in one, but I don't think I can because this video is getting long. So thank you all for sticking with me this long. I hope that answers some of your questions, and the rest I'm going to do a part 2 to answer all those. So I hope you're having a great day, and thank you all. I couldn't have got to 1,000 without you, and keep watching, keep clicking like on my videos. That helps too somehow in the algorithm of YouTube. I don't know how it works, but it does help. Even though you've already subscribed, hit like if you like my videos. And please give me comments and feedback. I appreciate all of it. So until next time, have a stylish day. Bye-bye.